Hello, children. Today we're going to learn a new lesson called One Friday Morning. Langston Hughes, an African American writer, wrote the short story called One Friday Morning. And the story is about a girl who was discriminated in her school because she was black. Life brings many disappointments, which make a person stronger. People who discriminate usually have never experienced discrimination. Let's see what happens in this chapter. So, in the first page, you will see that there's a girl called Nancy Lee Johnson. All right, and she's a student. She's an African whose family has moved to America, right? And she's a black person like the niggers, right? And in school, however, you shouldn't use the word nigger because that's an offensive word for black people. So you can either call them colored or black. In school, encouraged by her art teacher, Miss Dietrich, Nancy Lee excels at drawing. So her drawing teacher was Miss Dietrich, and she motivated Nancy Lee to draw. One of her best pictures has been entered in a contest, and everyone expects her to win. So in this particular page, we're going to read how Miss Dietrich and Miss O Shay. So Miss O Shay is the vice principal and Miss Dietrich is her teacher. With both their guidance, this girl is able to excel in her drawing skills, right? And she is going to get an award, a very prestigious award called let me see, it's called the Artist Club Award. Here it is, right? Now, when they revealed this to Nancy Lee, how do you think she reacted? She was very happy, yes. And not only her, but the other two ladies were also very, very happy, the vice principal and the teacher, right? So what happens next then? So Miss O'Shea and Miss Dietrich, they encourage her to prepare a speech, right? So she was going to, that was a very big day for her when she's going to receive the award. She has to go to the stage, right? And she has to accept it. Along with that, she's also expected to speak an acceptance speech, right? So, and she was so happy. The vice principal wanted Nancy to speak something about the award that she has got. Okay, they were excited too. And when the president of art club presented her with the award, she planned to say all these things. All right, so this from here to here, she had planned everything. She was so excited, right? So she thought that she will talk about the judges. She will thank the judges and members of the artist club, right? And she would talk about how the black people are discouraged by the colored people. They're not treated equally. However, she also wanted to end her speech by saying that she believes in America and that America will provide opportunities and fairness to the black people. And she thought that she would thank Miss Dietrich and the teachers who gave her the knowledge of drawing and helped her win this award. So before going to bed, she had prepared all of these, and she was, looking forward to speak all these lines on the Friday morning, which was the next day, right? However, the question is, was she able to speak the speech or not? So let's find out. What happens next? Yeah. So when she gets up and goes to the school the other day on Friday, she doesn't see any crowd in her school assembly. All right. And Miss O'Shea, the vice principal, calls her to her room. All right. And she goes there and she sits. Miss O'Shea, the vice principal, she asks Nancy to sit down and she reveals a very sad news. And the sad news is just that she was not getting that award anymore. Why? Because those people who were going to give her the artist award came to know that this girl is black. So because of her skin color, now they don't want to give this award to her. And how did, of course, she felt bad, Right, Nancy felt bad. Not only Nancy, but Miss O'Shea was also silent, and she also felt very bad that she was a white woman and she did not expect her country to, treat a black person like that. She was not for it, she was against this, right? She wanted Nancy to win this award. Nancy Lee, I'm very sorry to have you give this message, but my speech, Nancy Lee said, was about. So, when the vice principal told her that you're not going to get this award anymore, Nancy Lee didn't know how to react. She was very sad and she was just remembering what was she going to talk in that speech. She thought that she's going to praise America, but what is America doing instead of that? America is depriving her of the award that she was just about to receive. So the vice principal also says that our flag, so she says a beautiful thing here, those who deny you this award do not know the meaning of the stars in our flag. Okay, so she is talking, so the USA flag looks like a flag which has blue and red. It's a combination of blue, red, and white with stars in it, right? And those stars are actually symbols which depict, which show that the stars in the America, they are actually a symbol of objectives, aims in life, right? And they aim to make everyone equal. The stars are to show that everyone is equal in this country, and that uh, we all, the Americans, they all want to achieve something for a long time. So here it's given here, the stars are a symbol of goals like justice and equality that people have tried to achieve for a long time. So it means that the stars in the flag are actually are symbols, or they are the marks which prove that people of America has worked for a very long time and then they want to achieve equality and justice, right? So they want equality in their country. Everyone should be treated equally and there should be justice for all. But what is happening right now is that if America is denying her a prize because of her skin color, then that's not equality, that's not justice, right? As a teacher, so the vice principal says, as a teacher, I'll go before the school board and ask them to remove the offer of any prizes or awards denied to any student because of race or color. So the vice principal is quite upset and she promises this girl, Nancy, that she is going to fight for her. And what is she going to do? She's going to the school board and she's going to ask them to remove any kind of prizes. So, what she means to say is if you're going to give prizes and if you don't want the blacks to win, then, don't give prizes. There should be no prizes for anyone, right? So it shouldn't be like that the prizes are only for the whites. Lift, so she encourages and she motivates Nancy Lee. She says, you lift up your head and smile at me. So she knew that Nancy was very hurt and she wanted her to rise up and smile and put your chin up, right? So she knows that Nancy deserved what she was about to get, and the whites also knew that she deserved what she was about to get, but it's their fault, it's their miss that they couldn't bring her up. But in the other hand, she motivates Nancy to look up and don't give up. Yeah. So Miss O'Shea's clear blue eyes looked into those of the girl before her. The woman's eyes were full of strength and courage. Lift your head, Nancy. Nancy Lee lifted her head and smiled, and she trusted her vice principal, and she knew that this woman and her teacher, they're her well-wishers, and they would never break her heart like that. The bell for assembly rang. She went through the long hall towards the auditorium. There will be other awards, Nancy Lee thought. There are schools in other cities. This won't keep me down. But when I am a woman, I'll fight to see these things don't happen to other girls as this has happened to me. And men and women like Miss O'Shea will help me. This is such a beautiful paragraph to end this chapter, right? So most of the time you will see that if somebody tries to pull you down, you actually feel demotivated and you tend to give up, right? And you start believing that maybe yes, I am not worth it, or I am not good for it, or maybe I don't deserve it. But look at this girl, Nancy. She has so much to look forward to from life, and she has so much of belief in her vice principal and her teacher. So this incident doesn't put her down. Incident doesn't demotivate her. In fact, she's now she's now emerged as a stronger person, and she believes that she this is not going to keep me down. She says, so this is I have not lost anything. I'm not defeated. Yeah. So, and she promises herself that when I grow up, I will make sure that people like me, that they are not discouraged by uh, because of my skin color, because of our skin color, right? And she also believes in people like Miss O'Shea. She knew that there are more people like Miss O'Shea who will always come forward to help her. This is a very beautiful lesson, again, with very sensitive moral, which we should all take. So we face discrimination, I'm sure. We all do face discrimination in some point of our time, right? And it's up to us how we take that discrimination. When somebody tries to put us down, how do we feel, right? I think we should take a good moral from this story, that this is how we should react, right? Not the other way around. This is how we should encourage ourselves to keep going and put our heads up and always hope for the best, hope for a new day, right? Um, yeah. So at that point, there was a light knock on the door. Miss O'Shea called out, "Come in," and Miss Dietrich entered. "May I be part of this too?" So she asked, may I be part of this too? She asked, tall and smiling. Do you think the two women knew? Do you think the two women know something we do not know yet? Why do you think so? Yes, I think both of them knew that, right? Both of them knew there was a good news, and only if there is something good to share, somebody will come to, speak about it. So she was so excited. Miss O'Shea was excited, and Miss Dietrich was also excited. If it was a sad news, then maybe Miss O'Shea would have never asked Miss Dietrich to be there. And even Miss Dietrich, being a sensible woman, would never come if she had to give a negative feedback. So since both of them were happy and both of them wanted to be a part of this conversation, I think they both knew that it was a good news and they both wanted to be a part of it. Pick out a word or phrase that tells us that something good is going to be announced. All right, let's go back to the chapter. How do we know that? So we have to go to the beginning of the chapter. And yeah, so one wet, rainy Oshi vice principal says, "Not." "Sit down, Angela. I have something to tell you." So she says, "I have something to tell you." And she says, "You have been an excellent student, Nancy, I'm sure you know." Yeah, so these are the words which indicates that Nancy Lee was a good student, and they are praising her. So that indicates that something good is coming. Some good news is coming her way. Yeah. Miss O'Shea had risen, and why do you think Miss O'Shea looked out of the window at this point? Miss O'Shea had risen and stood looking out of the window. Why do you think Miss O'Shea looked out of the window at this point? Find another sentence like this in the text that tells us through her action what she was feeling. Well, she was looking out of the window because she was ashamed and she was heartbroken and she couldn't face this girl. She had she had no heart to give this sad news to this girl who was so neatly dressed up, and she was all prepared to give the receiving speech. But now Miss O'Shea has to give her a very bad news. And she was worried, and she really didn't want to speak these words to Nancy that she was not going to get the award anymore. Find another sentence like this in the text that tells us through her actions what she was feeling. Yes, we can do that. So go back to the chapter. So here, she lifted her eyes and looked at Nancy in the neat blue. You do not receive this outside the electric. Yeah, this is also maybe when the committee learned that you were colored, they changed their plans. Nancy Lee, I'm very sorry to give you this message, but my speech. I know, slowly facing the room again. Those who deny your award. Yeah, and the stars in but it's up to us to make them know. As a teacher, I'll go before in school board and ask them to remove the offer. Miss O'Shea's clear blue eyes looked into those of the girl before her. The woman's eyes were full of strength. See, these are some of the physical clues that they are giving about how she was feeling. So Miss O'Shea's clear blue eyes looked into those of the girl before her. Yeah, so here at this point of time, it shows that Miss O'Shea hasn't given up, and she also wants the girl to be stronger. She wants the girl not to give up and be strong. You can write this one. Nancy lifted her head and smiled. What does this mean? She lifted her head and smiled. Yes, that means she has accepted what came her way. She has accepted that she was not going to get the prize anymore, but that doesn't make her weak, right? She knows her capability, she knows her ability, and she is ready to face all circumstances. And this means that she is not going to give up, right? She knows that she was not given she was not given the award, but she smiled and she continued. That means she's going to keep this battle on. She's not giving up. She's not considering herself to be defeated, right? So she's ready to fight on. All right. So these are the two questions that we have discussed. I am also going to give you some extra questions in class. If you have any questions or queries from this chapter, please feel free to write down in the comment box, or you can ask me personally. Yeah. Thank you so much.